Welcome to the Encouragement Zone with Bishop T. Davis Jr. where your dreams are revived.
Well, good day. I greet you today. This is the Encouragement Zone. Bishop T. Davis Jr. and Ronnie Mayes, my friend, my classmate.
Thank you, Pastor. Thanks for inviting.
We're from the big city of Cortland, Alabama. But we're going to come back after our break, and we're going to talk about the importance of the HBCU, historically black colleges and universities, and how the athletic programs from these colleges have opened the door for so many athletes, and it's a purpose for them. And we'll be back at you. Call a friend, tell them to tune in. Well, we're back. We have so much to talk about today. Brother Ronnie, I call him Brother Ronnie.
Ronnie, I'll go with that.
That's right. But we look at black colleges and universities, and I was thinking about Alabama A&M homecoming in Huntsville, Alabama. Is being celebrated this Saturday, and they're going to be playing Jackson State, a historically black college also. And Ronnie has experience in this area. He went to Alcorn. He knows some people. I'm just going to turn him loose right now before we start talking about A&M's homecoming, and share with us his experience at Alcorn or down in Tampa Bay.
Well, in high school, our high school coach, Lewis White, attended Alcorn.
Right.
So he the one convinced me to go. Well, actually, Lightfoot went first.
Lennox Light.
I followed Lennox down there. Lightfoot played football. I did. But the benefit of a HBCU is that special attention that students receive from their instructors. You get the one-on-one coaching, and they tend to pay more attention to individuals, and they tend to gravitate towards a person struggling in a certain area. So you get that one-on-one training.
Right. Well, Ronnie, you're so right. Like a small school where we went to Cortland High School when I was there back in the 70s, you would get more individual attention than you would at a large school, because they wanted you to make it. And especially the predominantly black schools, because there was so much intimacy with the student and the teacher. And so the same thing probably we get when we look at athletics and we look at academics in the HBCU. It's historically black college and university. Now, we're not down in any other colleges. Every one of them have their purpose.
Correct.
But as I thought about Alabama A&M University in 1875 is when William Hooper Council founded that school, 1875. And he founded, and most of the founders were ex-slaves.
Right.
Yes. But they had a vision. Yeah. And so my parents went to, one went to Alabama A&M, one went to Alabama State. And back during those days, that's where you had to go. You wasn't going to Alabama and Auburn back in the 40s.
Correct. The NFL was built off HBCU players.
Right.
I was looking through a list of the greatest HBC players today. And, Walter Payton is on the top of the list.
Where did he go?
Jackson State. Prime time. Jerry Rice, Mississippi Valley.
Oh, man, one of the greatest.
Lynn Bonney. You find most of those off from HBCU schools.
Yeah. I think Too Tall Jones went to Tennessee State. And then we have a guy that, when I was growing up, Ronnie, they say was the fastest human alive, Bob Hayes. I think he went to FAMU, am I right?
Correct. Correct.
Florida Indian. Well, how important is it, in your opinion, by what you've seen, that we continue to support these historically black colleges?
I think it's essential that we continue to support them. And I'm encouraged by seeing so many professional athletes coming into the HBC unit. Mm-hmm. That's just driving up sales. It's helping out as far as attendance, mm-hmm. Student body. Mm-hmm. All that is beneficial to the black colleges. Mm-hmm. And as we combine together, we're going to continue to grow as mm-hmm. a black college. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Because this is the way I see it, Ronnie. Every one of them, colleges I'm talking about, have a purpose.
Correct.
You know, there are some players that would not get a scholarship to play sports, football, basketball, baseball, whatever, if it had not been for a black university. Because it's just not enough room to go around at Alabama's or Auburn's and the Tennessee's, LSU's, or whatsoever. So they have their place. Correct. And there are many excellent teachers,
correct,
instructors have come out of these colleges. And just share with us, if you don't mind, how when you were in Tampa, how I think some of the people that you knew there had gone to these schools and they made it good. They made it big.
Right. Mm-hmm. Doug Williams, as an example.
I remember him.
These black athletes are graduating and pouring back into the black colleges. Mm-hmm. From my standpoint, I see all the benefit of being at a black university because of the camaraderie, at the larger schools, blacks tend to feel isolated mm-hmm. somewhat because mm-hmm. they're not getting that one-on-one mm-hmm. Teaching. They don't have the camaraderie among the other student body. Mm-hmm. So it's so much other activities going on other than just schools.
Yeah. Well, you're right. Doug Williams was the first African-American quarterback, I think, to win a Super Bowl, if I'm correct.
He was the first black quarterback to be drafted in the first round.
Oh, wow.
And the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
You know that history. So what school did he go to?
Grambling.
They beat A&M this past week.
But they did. And
yeah, Doug, and now Jimmy Giles, I think you met him. Did he go to a historic black college?
He went to Alcorn State.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I met Jimmy through Lennox Lightfoot.
Yeah.
They played together. And
they were on the same team together?
They was on the same team together. Wow. And I got to know Jimmy through Lennox. And our friendship just evolved from there.
Yeah. And y'all still friends today, huh?
Still friends today. I saw him a couple months ago.
Yeah, you were at the event you were at in Atlanta. Share with us some of that. It was a great event there.
It was a great event. It's called the HBCU Hall of Fame, and it's being held annually in Atlanta. They have a committee. They formed a committee where they are actively trying to get more black college football players drafted mm-hmm. because we haven't had a player drafted in the last 2 years.
Really?
Absolutely. We have players on different teams, but they all went through free agency.
Wow. And there are some there that can play, but they had to go through free agency. So that cuts the money off, kind of. If you don't get drafted, they sign you at a lesser rate, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's why they're more apt to take defensive backs, just certain positions from these black colleges.
Yeah, because I remember back, and we're going to take a break in a little while, but back when I went to Alabama A&M in 1974, there was a man named John Stallworth. Some of you may have heard him. I think he got about 5 Super Bowl rings, if I'm not mistaken, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. But he was at Alabama A&M, and I was a freshman, summer. He was there visiting the team, probably working out with them before he started with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I was asking, somebody just told me in the cafeteria, that's John Stallworth. I said, wow, And so after that, he hadn't even made the team then, but he made the team, that, and he was a superstar. And NFL Hall of Fame, and he did attend Alabama A&M University on the hill, as we would say. But God, and I want to say this, God had a purpose for these schools. And you look at Booker T. Washington, who was a man of faith, George Washington Carver, and all that he accomplished down at Tuskegee. And I've heard the testimonies of how Booker T. Washington had faith that they made their own bricks. They said, well, if you're not going to give us bricks, he had his students, he hired his students, had them making bricks and going to class in the evening, making bricks in the morning, however you had it. But they made their own bricks to build Tuskegee Institute.
Right.
And I've heard this, Ronnie, that at one time, Tuskegee graduated per capita more millionaires than any college in the United States. Per capita, that means in a ratio to the students. And that figure just blew my mind. I couldn't comprehend that. Right down in Tuskegee now. But he was pouring into them, and they were pouring out into society. So we're going to take a break, but I want to say this, we're going to come back. It doesn't matter where you start.
It doesn't matter where you start. You can start at any HBCU and go anywhere.
That's right.
It doesn't matter.
Go ahead,
my oldest brother went to Tuskegee.
Yeah, Tuskegee.
One of my nieces went to Tuskegee.
Yeah. Well, so you're really in tradition. You had this in your blood. But we're going to celebrate. We're going to talk about Alabama A&M's homecoming and some of how the black teams have really been a benefit to the city that they're in. And Huntsville is one of them that Alabama A&M has really benefited with their service and how God is really showing himself strong on what we call the hill. And we're going to talk about old Deion Sanders a little bit too, because we got to put him in his place. Call somebody and tell them we're celebrating HBCU this week, homecoming on the hill, and how good God is. And we're going to take a break now and want you to call a friend and tell them to tune in to the Encouragement Zone. We'll be back.
Tune in.
Come back.
I am Lawrence Fuqua with Fuqua Southern Soul Food in Rogersville, Alabama. Our address is 16125 Highway 72 in Rogersville. We're located in the Foodland Shopping Center. We're just a short drive out of Athens and a short drive out of the Shoals area. So stop in if you're looking for some good country cooking. And stop in, we'll be at 16125 Highway 72 in Rogersville. Our number is 256-607-7120. We look forward to seeing you. I am Lawrence Fuqua with Fuqua Southern Soul Food. Stop in and see us.
All right, we back. We have a blessed time, y'all. But Ronnie, let's go back in history.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, when I was young, quarterback was a big position. And before the black athlete or quarterback, or before you could even first go and play sports at Alabama, Auburn, or Tennessee, that was the historic black college and university. And that's where most of them went. And they had a ton of talent. Eddie Robinson down at Grambling turned out pros like a machine. Well, then we come up to the early 70s and late 60s when the black football player was starting to infiltrate the SEC. And the quarterback position was, it wasn't one that, it was the last one that was broken.
Correct.
And I don't know if you're old enough to remember a man named Conjure Holloway.
Yeah, I do.
He's from Decatur. He grew up a little bit in Decatur when he was real young. His mother and father. My parents knew his father. Then they moved to Huntsville, Alabama, where he graduated, I think, from Huntsville High, somewhere over that way. And he couldn't go to Alabama as a quarterback, but Bear Bryant was honest with him. He could have played defensive back or some other position. But Tennessee, University of Tennessee said we would use you as quarterback. And that was the first that I know of in the SEC that they had what we call a black quarterback. And he did real well at Tennessee. And so from there on, it grew. Alabama, Auburn began to bring them in. And now Alabama's had several black quarterbacks and got one now, one of the leads in the nation. But that was a price paid to get there. And the HBCU have a great part in that. So would you kind of elaborate on how patient it has been and how important it was for those building blocks to be laid to get us to where we are today?
Well, we stand on the back of our ancestors.
Right.
I mean, they paved the way for us. These historically black colleges were started by successful black people and promoted. Bethune-Cookman is one that comes to mind. But black colleges is so important to our development as a race of people because we're able to go out and economically earn a living, pull back into the university, and recycle our students, our kids. I mean, get them focused on the HBCU. And the greatest part now is that a lot of players are leaving these major schools, coming to HBCUs. You got the Eddie George, Deion Sanders, I call it, and other coming.
So you brought up a good point. Now we to the point, it's come full circle. Whereas the players used to leave the A&Ms and Gramblin's and Southerns and go to the Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee, LSU. Now they're leaving those schools, a few, not many, and coming back to the black colleges.
But I think we're as a race, we're becoming more aware of our importance in promoting our race, and so that's going to be a big help towards going forward. And you'll see more and more people come into the HBCUs.
Right, and with YouTube and Facebook and all the media, if you're good, they'll find you. You know, if even academically. If you're not into sports, academically, if you're good and you are getting your lesson, your homework, as I tell my 13-year-old, get your lesson, make those good grades. It doesn't matter how good an athlete you are. If you don't make the grades, you know you're not going to be looked at for athletics. But so what we have, let's go to homecoming and how big event that is. In the HBCU. Now, it's big at Alabama, it's big at Auburn, I know that, you know. But you hadn't been to a homecoming like a homecoming on a black college campus. I mean, the band, you got all the people there that just, you know, when we was out in the world, we'd call it a party. But, you know, it's really an experience that I think we should allow our young people to experience. I went to get my tickets for the game this past week, and this week rather, and I wanted my son to see the game. And this is what he told me. He said, I said, JD, you want to go to the A&M's homecoming over in Huntsville? He said, well, Deion Sanders going to be there? I said, yeah. He said, yeah, I want to go. So it's going to be a showtime, and I just, you know, if I get to go, I want him to be able to see this and experience it and make his own mind up where he would like to attend college. Our
youth need to experience the camaraderie, the brotherhoods that's among the brothers and sisters in the black colleges. And it's just a great learning experience.
It is. Are you glad that's what route you took?
Very glad. If I had to do it all over again, I'd do it the same way.
But tell me this, before we get back on A&M's homecoming, where is Alcorn? Is a city, right? A town.
It's a reservation.
In Mississippi.
In Mississippi. Right outside of Port Gibson.
Yeah.
We're 60 miles north of Jackson.
Yeah. Oh, so you were close to Jackson State. In
right. We play Jackson State every year.
Yeah. So I think a major happening, Ronnie, is when Deion Sanders, we call him Prime Time, took the coaching job at Jackson State, and because he went to Florida State, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
He was a great NFL player. I think he played a little baseball too, if I'm not mistaken. But
he did.
But and for him to, out of all the coaching opportunities he had, he decided to come back to Jackson State in Mississippi to coach their football team. And God has really blessed him.
Blessed him. Also, Pastor Eddie George at Tennessee State.
He's the head coach at Tennessee State?
Head coach. And he graduated from Ohio State.
Yeah. And he went to Tennessee State.
He's coaching now at Tennessee
Oh,
State.
but he didn't.
He went to Ohio State.
Yeah, yeah. But he did the same thing that Dion
Exactly.
had done. Yeah. Well, you know what they're saying about Saturday's game, and you ought to see this on Thursday on TV. The game is Saturday. They're saying that Jackson State University and Deion Sanders want to blow up A&M homecoming. Now tell me, brother, that's the way we carry on, isn't it, as a people?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's us, ain't it? We just make a
He promoting it.
we make
He
a big
promoting
time.
He promoting it.
I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah, I believe A&M gonna hold their own.
I don't know. I don't know. Prime time, you can't never count him out. But but look at the scene, Ronnie. You got the coach from Alabama A&M, Coach Maynard. I think he went to a HBC.
Okay.
Was it South Carolina?
I don't know where he went.
I think he did. He was quarterback, and then you got Deion Sanders that went to Florida State, but you got them in the same arena. So they're going to be going up against each other. And it used to be that, okay, we thought we couldn't make it too far if we just was at a small place, a small school. But now the playing field has somewhat been level as far as your talent, your education. If you can do it, they will find you. And I just want to share that with the audience. Enjoy who you are. Enjoy how God made you. And if God tells you, your place is with this type of school, and go there and be a blessing, and then be a blessing to someone else when you graduate. Because it does not matter, like I said earlier, where you start. It's how you finish. Amen. So is there anything, Ronnie, that we left out that you might want to elaborate on?
Well, Pastor, I wanted to mention that I met A&M quarterback at the Hall of Fame banquet back in June.
Yeah.
I met him and his parents, and he seemed to have some of the nicest parents I've ever met, and he seemed to be one of the nicest kids I've ever met. So I'm looking forward to the future with him. He has a bright future ahead of him.
Yeah. What's his name? Glass?
Akil Glass.
Yeah. Good quarterback.
Great.
Excellent quarterback. And great person.
6'4", about 215, 220. Great size.
Yeah. You think he'll make it to the NFL?
He will.
Yeah.
He'll be drafted next year.
Yeah. And his character, where you talk, he got good character.
Got good character, got good parents.
Yeah. So, have you ever been to a professional game?
I've been to 2 Super Bowls, Pastor.
Wait. Talk to me. I just been to an exhibition NFL game. I got to catch up.
I was at the '84 Super Bowl, Raiders and Redskins.
Uh-huh.
The Raiders won that one.
Yeah.
And I was at the '88 Super Bowl, Buffalo and the Giants.
Wow. You got a lot of experience.
Well, I was working for a limousine company, so I got to meet a lot of people.
You got to drive around.
Got to drive around a lot of people.
All right. Well, I tell you what, it's good to have experience and be exposed and to things. And I just want to say, when I was at A&M back in the 70s, it was nothing like it is now. They are modernized. I was telling the brothers before we came on the air, they got electric buses shuttling the people back and forth, I guess to classes or whatever. They're building buildings like I don't know what. They're just, money is being poured in and improvements are being made. And so it's good to see progress. And like my grandfather, Kermit McKelvey, when I was young, I used to hear him say, progress costs. Whenever you progress, it's going to cost. And it might cost money, it might cost some blood, sweat, and tears, but it's going to cost something. Ronnie knew another NFL player that went to Alcorn. His name happened to ring a bell.
Yeah, you heard of Steve McNair.
I think I have. I think he was pretty good.
Yeah, Steve, his senior year, he wanted to play college quarterback in college. Well, Mississippi State offered him a scholarship as a defensive back, and that's how Alcorn got him, because they let him play quarterback.
Yeah, and I think he kind of broke some records there, didn't
He was a third runner-up for the Heisman, and he broke all the
Third runner-up for the Heisman.
for the Heisman his senior year. Went to Alcorn.
Yeah. Was he 747?
No, that was Willie Todd.
Hey, you see, I know a little bit about that. That's right, 747. That was back in my day when I was at A&M.
Exactly.
But
Well, he was with the Steelers.
yeah, he was with the Steelers. And we got a man in our community that I almost forgot about. Wilbur Watkins went to school at Tennessee Valley down here in Hillsboro, Alabama.
Well, let's not forget Robert Pension.
Yeah, Town Creek.
Town Creek.
Central High School. Rory Hubbard now.
Yeah.
Now he blocked for O.J. Simpson.
Right.
When O.J. Simpson broke the at that time first player to run for 2,000 yards in a season, Bobby Pincher went to Alcorn. Am I right?
That's correct.
Him and Coach Lewis White, they played at Alcorn, and he blocked for O.J. Simpson. Isn't that rich heritage?
It is very rich.
Yes, it is.
We were founded in 1871.
So y'all a little bit older than A&M. Yeah.
I don't know how old.
A&M 1875.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow, that is awesome. And Mr. Wilbur Watkins played at A&M during the time when John Starworth was there, and I think he played some with Pittsburgh. So it's just opportunities begin to open in the 70s, late 60s, and in the 70s for the HBCU players, and they've come full circle now, like you said. They've gone in all positions: quarterback, running back, defense back, and coaches. So we thank God for what He has done. I just give God the praise because He used the stepping stone of the Black College to open the door for many people to have opportunities, not just in sports, but I like sports, and that's what we're talking about this weekend, the homecoming up on the hill at A&M. Well, Mayes, we got about a minute left. Give us some closing advice, some closing wisdom.
Well, Pastor, I want to correct something you said earlier, that I was from Cortland. I'm from the big city of Sunnybrook.
Now, where in the world? A population?
A population about maybe 4 or 5 people. And a large cotton field.
Yeah.
So I picked at the chop. But to go from Sunnybrook to Tampa was a major change for me.
Major culture change. But you made it.
Thank God.
And I'm glad to have you a member of Wheeler Chapel.
Thank God.
We work together.
God get all the credit.
Yeah, we work here at Wheeler Chapel together, and Brother May said something at his father's homegoing service. He said, "My father believed in hard work," and he stuck with that. And Brother May believed in hard work too. So our time is up, but why giving me the fist? But we got you. We hope hope you enjoy your weekend, and if you have time, go to the Hill and watch Deion Sanders try to beat the A&M Bulldogs. This is the encouragement zone.
Let's go A&M.
Go Bulldogs. Talk to you.
We hope you were blessed by this program, and it is our prayer you were encouraged. Join us again next on The Encouragement Zone with Bishop T. Davis Jr., where your dreams are revived. Be blessed and see you next time.